record this, and we also kind of put it on live on Facebook so that people um, who want to listen in can listen in. So that I will just do that while I continue talking about. Uh, so I want to talk about where we started. So we started with this question as to what is the purpose of education. And it took us some time to, and I think I'm still exploring. But what was very kind of clear to us is most people, most most of the world, I would say, was looking at education more in terms of how do I get a job or how do I earn in my life, right? Somehow that seemed to be the focus of all education, and somehow that did not kind of go or gel with our way of looking at life, because we said no, education can't be like that. So then what is the purpose of education? And to us it more looked like that, hey, education and living are synonyms. They are the same things. If I'm living, I'm learning. If I'm learning and living, that's education. And which means the purpose of education should be to live. And if that is the case, then what came to us kind of logically out of it is that each learner should be the leader of his or her learning. So every child should be the leader, not like somebody else telling the child, hey, do this, do this, do this. And if we, and also we realized as we work with children that children are leaders of themselves. They are uh, not just leaders, they are very capable leaders, right? Um, so with that realization, we've come down to four propositions, which I quickly want to share with you. The first one is, if you look at the learner as a capable leader, then we really don't need to think in terms of curriculum, because each one will figure out what is the curriculum of their, uh, their journey. And each one's curriculum would be different, or rather, each one's journey would be different. Um, the second thing we thought was that we don't need to really teach the child. The child can figure out, uh, you know, what how the child wants to learn. It could be from a teacher. No, that's not a problem. So it could be from a teacher, from a peer, from a YouTube video, actually from anywhere, right? And if you put these two together, as in the child deciding what to learn and the child deciding how to learn, then the third proposition is that why do we need to assess the child? Rather, why wouldn't we develop the ability to reflect back on what we are doing, uh, which is something which we'll anyway use through our whole life, and also kind of you know use the feedback of people around us. And finally, if we put all these three together, we come to this conclusion that the school and college and degrees and certification is just one route. Nothing wrong in that route. If you want that route, you take that route. Otherwise, there are many other ways of learning and moving ahead in life and growing uh, how you want to grow. So that's broadly what open learning is all about. It's about taking charge of one's life and then living it the way we want to live it. In some ways, if I look at it in terms of progression, when this is the broad progression we see, not really restricted by age, but just to give you an idea, at a early stage, we get introduced to something through exposure. We see others doing it, or we see it on TV, or we see it somewhere happening, and we get exposed. We little bit try it, and then we get interested, and then we got start exploring it more, and we try different things, and we start having fun. It becomes interesting to us, and then maybe we reach a stage where we want to become an expert in it, and then we go deep diving into that area. We spend a lot of energy to understand that, learn the required skills, and so on. And maybe one of our expertise may turn into what we call as enterprise, as in the way to earn, if I want to earn. I'm throwing that if I want to earn, because it's not necessary for everybody to earn. Some people earn, and that's good enough. Right. So that's typically a progression in the open learning journey, not necessarily bound by any age. In fact, that itself is open. Somebody may get into expertise at a much later in life. Some may start doing it much younger. So it really depends on each individual and obviously each family. So this is broadly, very quickly, an introduction to open learning. I want to talk a little about Arohi. So what Arohi is nothing but a community of families who come together and kind of learn together. So it's not the child who joins Arohi, it's the family who joins Arohi, and we all learn from each other. So all of us are learners, whether you are a child or an adult or a grandparent. The idea is to make connections with like-minded, like-interested, uh, people, or like skilled people. So we start making connections within the community. We start collaborating within the community, doing a lot of different things. A group may get together and do theater. A group may get together and do science experiments. A group may get together and do an electronics project. A group may get together and play football, and so on. So collaborations happen, and a lot of supporting each other happen. Again, the coaching, mentoring within the community is not restricted to adults mentoring children. It could be a child mentoring another child. It could be a child mentoring an adult, and so on, right? The whole essence is of co-creating, of co-learning, co-supporting, and yes, co-living. That's what kind of Arohi is in brief. Very quickly, we have two campuses. One is the physical campus, which is about 60 kilometers from Bangalore, but it falls in Tamil Nadu. It's in a village. And you can, if you want, you can come here, visit, stay with us. It's a residential campus. And the other campus is what we call as Arohi X, which is the online campus or the virtual campus, where, because we have so many families from across different cities, even different countries, so we get connected on a daily basis through using internet and various tools on internet, including Zoom and including some social medias, so that we are all connected with each other. All right. So that's a quick introduction to the Arohi open learning community as well as the open learning. And I don't want to take more time of yours on this introduction. So yeah, so now we are kind of open to discussion. You can ask questions, you can share your thoughts. There are some families here in this group today who are looking for knowing more about open learning and Arohi. And there are some families who are part of the Arohi community who would kind of help you understand that, including some children here. So yeah, so let's do it this way. Let's start with more questions about open learning first, and we'll come to Arohi towards the later part. We have a good 1 hour, so we can, I'm sure, do a lot of question answers and a lot of understanding. Yeah. So I'm making it open. Today's theme is also so every Saturday we try to keep a theme because we meet every Saturday. We have been doing that for more than 2 years now, every Saturday. So today's theme is to do with what we call as, or what people call as, financial stability. Personally, I don't subscribe to that. I'm okay with financial instability, but that's my personal opinion. But some people think, how will the child earn? How will the child get financially maybe independent or financially stable, and so on? Somehow it seems to people that it is a clear path in the conventional system, which I seriously doubt, because not that just because you do a college or a school, you get financially stable. That's not something which is guaranteed. But people have these doubts about open learning. So we can also explore that domain if you are interested, and try and understand how does that happen. Right. So that's just the theme, but all questions are most welcome. So over to all of you. You have to drive this session.
Hi, all. So, since I have this bubbling question in me right now, I thought I'll just be the first one. So as we say, the child is the leader of the child decides what the child wants to do. What if the child decide not to do anything? Like, we are a family, we love to do things like, together, we go outdoors, we cycle, etc. Everything was fine so far. Suddenly, daughter says, okay, I'm not interested. Okay, I'm not interested. These days, it has become very recurrent. And that is what is worrying me, because okay, one odd time saying no is fine, but when it comes every other time, then that is something which makes me feel okay, too much choice, too much freedom, is it leading to nowhere? Because okay, she's an avid reader, but she's finishes books at lightning speed. So yes, I'm unable to supply her demands. So when her supply is unmet, what she chooses to do is inactivity, and that is what is worrying me. So this is where I am right now. Maybe yes, it is a phase, I'm not jumping to conclusions, but how do I respond to her? Should I just say, okay, you don't want to do anything, fine? Or should I direct her? Or should I don't know where how to navigate through this.
Sure. Who would like to respond to Prachi? Prashant is saying maybe she's taking a sabbatical. Yeah, I
I
want
can
to,
tell.
yeah, Abhilash, go ahead, please.
So Prachi, how old is your child? Sorry, I didn't get that.
She's 7.5. So I
Oh,
have twins, they're 7.5 now.
oh, I thought she's some teenager. Okay.
Yeah.
So my son is 9 years old, and we face this at home. One thing that helped me is we think that they are not doing many things, but if we leave aside our prescribed, doing things, if we put them
Yeah.
aside, and if you just keep noting down what are the minor things they are doing, you will find they are doing a lot. At least I have found that. Initially, I was thinking that only if my son reads a book, or only if he solves some math problem, or does some workbook, or does some puzzles, I used to consider him as being doing something.
Right.
But these days, what I did is this again, I got a tip from ROE community parents and all. So what I did is I started noting down every small thing he's doing. Like at some point he's watching a TV. At some point he's simply sitting in one corner doing something.
Hmm.
Very very simple things. But when I started noting down that, I was surprised to see how many things he was doing, and in all of that there is some learning or the other happening. So I started noting down that every day, like it's been a month now. He has done so many things compared to me. I was doing stupid coding for one full day, 10 hours, 16 hours. He has done so many things in that day. So
Right.
maybe you can try that. Maybe you will find a lot more things they are doing. Again, this is my take. I don't know exactly how your
Yeah.
child is going through,
Yeah.
but that helped me. Maybe you can try.
Sure. I think, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Sandhya here. Prachi, one more thing, like you said, as a family, you decided to go somewhere, do some activity. In case if she says no, just sit and talk with her. Like ask her what she wants to do. So you can take turns. Like one time, one person what you say, others
Yeah.
all can do. Another time, let her choose what she wants to do. Let the whole family do. So maybe after some time, she'll come to know. Okay, so whatever we say, the whole family is doing committedly.
Yeah.
So we have to do
Yeah.
similarly. So she might get that idea.
Yeah.
Moreover, 7.5 years old, now only they are growing up and their mind is also open.
Yeah.
So it can become a habit gradually.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to add to that? Ambika, Preeti, Lakshita, Misha.
I would want Lakshita to add and tell her 43 list of 43.
Okay. Good example, Preeti aunty. So the thing is, I had like I have so many phases where I don't do anything. I sit and do nothing, or I don't do anything. I just lie down. My mother is extremely aware of this. But but then, as Prashant uncle is asking, it is like kind of sabbatical, because I was just thinking the whole time, because I was doing so much stuff before that. I kind of got burned out, and I just wanted to rest for some time. So that happens a lot. But besides that, you're talking about like going outdoors, that, and like you do some cycling together. I don't think that's the only thing we can do, because I do a lot of things that can be considered useless, but they're not. I just do, I either get pleasure from them, or I'm just happy doing it, or it helps me learn. So there's a lot of things that happen. And you can't just categorize one as doing something and one as not doing something. Even sleeping is doing something, and like simply sitting and doing nothing is also, it's still doing something. So I think that you should just let her be. And like my mom said, sometimes have a talk with her, that might help. Eventually she will figure out that she wants to do something, and then she will go forward with it. So I wouldn't be too worried.
Thank you so much, Lakshita. That was a very nice perspective. Very reassuring. Thank you.
And just to not to leave you very reassured, uh, the point I would like to make, Prachi, is that who is the leader? If your daughter is the leader, then why are you anxious and worrying and stressed out and thinking and talking about in this meetup? If she is worrying about it, she will come and talk in this meetup or any other meetup, or she will call Misha or Lakshita and she'll figure out, or she will connect with whomever she connects with.
Yeah.
Meaning, think about it, leader should be worried, na?
Yeah.
Then why are you worrying?
Yeah.
So see if you would like to take a step back and actually let her be the leader. If we are
Right.
all the time thinking about them, then we are not letting them be leader. Then it's
Right.
only a term leader, but then we are saying, no, I'm constantly thinking, monitoring you. Then how is
Right.
it that they are leader?
Right.
So let leadership be theirs. And
Got
you sit
it.
back and, as Abhilash is saying,
Yeah.
enjoy, make videos,
Yeah.
make notes, or just kind of swim with them.
Got it. Thank you, Ratnesh. Yeah.
Okay.
Though I want to add here is that this is not easy. Letting the child be the leader is not easy. So it is a learning process for us also.
Oh my
It
God,
takes
seriously.
time.
And
Yeah.
that's why I'm here. Like, I know the answer, but just hearing it, like getting that hammered is important.
Yeah. And that is
All
where
the
the
time.
community helps. That is why we as Arohi are a community, because then you can connect with Ambika and Misha and Lakshita and Preeti and Prashant and Abhilash and Sandhya and so many others. I'm just taking some names who are there in this meetup. And then there's no one answer, right? And you can connect and your daughter can connect, and that becomes more beautiful. Then we are all together.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let's hear more questions, more thoughts about open learning. Whoever has, please come on, share. Because whatever you ask will be talked about, right? So, yeah, you have to try and get answers to your questions in this session. It is driven by you. And you can ask about any aspect of open learning, whether you are already doing it or not, that doesn't matter.
Hi.
Yeah, Shobna.
Yeah, one thing that worries me is I really struggle with disciplining my child because I pamper him a lot, and having him home around with grandparents, it's a huge task for me. So, one thing people tell me is when he goes to school, he'll be much more disciplined. So, how would that happen here at ROP or open learning? Or should I take the sole responsibility of disciplining him, or I just don't know.
Okay, let's hear some answers. Misha, you want to answer that one?
Um,
Are you
uh,
disciplined or whatever that means?
I before Arohi, I went to a conventional school for for like a long time. I went until grade 8 basically, and I wouldn't say they discipline you. You see lots of rowdy people at school, so sending your child to school will not discipline them. I would say actually, I've seen people who do homeschool. They are much more um, disciplined, disciplined than the people who do go to school. They end up being more. I feel they have something to prove or something. That's what I see. So I don't think sending your child to school will mean that they'll be more disciplined.
Okay, so how can I go about that? Any inputs on that?
So just one question, like what do you define as discipline? What is discipline to you?
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting this. Just, basic things like he gets pampered a lot. So getting anything done out of him sometimes is a huge task. Making him do something or listen to whatever he's expected to do. Things like he's just 5 years old, though I'm sure he would change. He'd keep changing more. But this is one thing that I'm really struggling with, to be honest, because I do pamper him a lot. I won't lie on that. I pamper him a lot. So on that end, I'm just saying it homeschooling, because that again happens with me, right? So I'm just trying to understand how it would go about between me and him.
So you're saying that homeschooling, so you have to do it. So who does, like, on whom does this responsibility lie? It's not his problem.
Come again? I didn't get you.
Like homeschooling, you're saying you have to do it. So on whom do you think this responsibility of discipline lies?
Me?
Like you have to do it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
have to.
even
Yeah.
if he goes to school, because the teacher says he'll be doing that.
You're on mute.
Yeah, I do get the whole point that, and I'm just checking if there's any inputs upon it, if there's anything that I can do about it.
First, we need to ask ourselves, are we disciplined? Like,
Oh
what
my
is
God.
discipline? Are we really disciplined? What is our definition? So, Sandhya, what she's asking, same thing. What is discipline? So for me, discipline would be something else. For you, it will be something else. For Prashant, for Sandhya, everybody, for child, for adult, for everybody, discipline would be different. So first, we can understand what is discipline.
Okay.
Also,
I have something to add.
Yeah.
So, like, speaking of discipline, I'm very pampered. My mom pampers me a lot. Everybody in my family pampers me. But, and as a 5-year-old, I don't think I ever did much. As you grow older, you just kind of learn that you don't want somebody behind on your back telling you to do stuff all the time, and you just kind of learn to do things. So it's not like even after he turns like 10-15 years old, you have to like go behind him and shout at him for him to do anything. So it's that. And another thing is, like, sometimes I'm lazy, I don't do stuff, and if you come and remind me, I'll do it. It's not that I don't want to do it, I don't have the discipline. It's just that I forgot about it, or I'm lazy at the moment. So my opinion is that you kind of just grow to learn to do things, and discipline has nothing to do with it. Because if you come to Arohi campus with what I think you're saying as discipline, you'll be very disappointed if you come here. But we still do stuff. We do stuff that's expected of us, because we have that freedom that we can do whatever we want, but that also means that we have to do certain things, so we get to earn our freedom.
Okay.
I guess
Okay.
it's
I think it's a
also
learning in the process. Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's a learning in the process, and it's a lifelong learning. I don't think we get discipline in a certain time. It's a lifelong journey to understand what is discipline to me, what is responsibility to me, how am I a leader for myself. So it's an ongoing thing. There is no end picture of it, right? And I think that is what open learning is all about. Whether you are learning how to, let's say, do things, or how to control your temptations, or how to calculate, or how to cook, or how to make something, it's a lifelong journey. And you it kind of, it just goes on and on and on. In open learning, we are not looking for an immediate result, or looking that, okay, by this age this result should happen. We are saying, let's just continue evolving ourselves on an ongoing basis. Just as Lakshita was saying, how she was at 5, she's not the same at 14, and I'm sure she will not be same tomorrow, and so on. So that is precisely what open learning is all about. It's not trying to segment ourselves into years and saying, this year I need to learn this, and this year. Rather, it's evolving oneself.
Hi, Kirti here.
Yeah, Kirti.
Yeah, I have one query. My child is 6.5, and I let him be himself. And people rather complain that, as a mother, as a parent, I am not disciplining him enough. So I just let him decide, and I learn from him rather. But I've always seen that people always complain, we also stay in a community here. And most often people say that, he's too independent, he's too himself. And you don't essentially tell him, how do I handle that?
Could you
But
give
I
us
don't
an
like to
example of
control the kid, that is where I think my, that is what my thinking is, I really don't want to control him. But people always have been judgmental about the kid, irrespective of that he's just 6 or, whatever.
Could you give us a specific example? I would like to know.
Okay, specific example. For example, say he goes to a temple, and he's like very logical in his thinking. So he's asked the Pujari, Pandit ji, that, why you are locking the temple at 8 o'clock. So who is sleepy? Are you sleepy, or is the god sleepy? So why do you want to lock it? So, and then, things like this, these happen like almost every single day to me. He's like extremely questioning. He's like, he's very critical, very logical. And then people say he's very straightforward on the face. And I've never judged him. That's how probably he is. His orientation is so, and I completely understand that. And I try to block what people want to tell him. Probably, I am the person who's in between. So they are like, he's too straightforward. He tells it on the face, and they think it's a bad quality indeed. I felt that's always their problem and not the child's problem. But sometimes even I tell them that, I think you need to kind of think about it, not me or the child. But in general, if I have to kind of reply to such people, or, what is it that, I was always judged as a parent that I don't essentially discipline him.
Let them ask him directly, no? Why you have to be in middle?
Yeah.
It will be much more fun, actually. I tried that. So when they ask, right, he gives more straightforward answer. They will not have any question.
I know. He always does it. He gives on the face. And people think that I train him that way. That's another funny part, is that they think that I train him.
Right, enjoy all this conversation.
So yesterday, I'll tell you an example. Say we have a hostel attached to us.
Sorry, Kirti, I'll little interrupt, because we want to cover more questions. So unless, if we have more time, we'll take in more anecdotes. But let's just go. Sorry, if that is okay with you, we can, if you got the perspective. And yes, people will talk about it, and that's the whole fun of it. Send them to the meetup. Saturday meetup, they can ask questions here. Right.
No, I have another
Prashant.
thing.
Yeah.
If you listen to some of the famous people talk, I'm saying famous in double quotes, depending on how you perceive them. Like, for example, Sadhguru, when he talks about his childhood, he talks about himself as being someone like your son. So all of these hatke thinkers, eventually become hatke folks, and we'll all become hatke folks in the future. I mean, everyone who is walking the line, going away from the line, going slightly away, curving, and whatever. So it's okay. I think I am living in a gated community too, and I have experienced this objectification of how can you do it to a child. It's, I think, an ongoing reflection in terms of what are the images I have, what are the expectations I have, that inside of those images and expectations, this kind of feeling that I need to do something about it appears like a natural outcome. So it's the more I reflect, the more I come to understand that there are certain rules and theories I have about life. And that's how I expect everybody. I mean, like the law of the land is there. So there's a law of Prashant, so I expect everybody to adhere to that law. And the more I reflect, the more I'm able to chip it away.
Thanks. I think the key word there is reflection, Prashant. And that's again the core part of open learning, where you're constantly reflecting, not just the child reflecting, we as parents reflecting, the whole family reflecting, and then the whole community reflecting. So that's the fun of it. Yeah. Okay, more questions? More thoughts?
Yeah, this is Abhilash. May I?
Sure.
Yeah. First of all, I want to know a few
If you can
questions.
also on your video, we can
by.
get a visual connect. That's just so nice.
Actually, yeah, I mean, I'm outside, so I'll come on the voice. Is that fine, or I should?
No. It's not have
on
to.
the video.
It was just if you can. That's okay. Go ahead,
Okay,
please.
Okay, fine. So, is it mode of communication only in English or Tamil, or what are the
Whichever
other
language you
languages
want to communicate with.
Oh, okay, fine. So actually, my child is 9-year-old. He's always try to play anything, and he'll find out some useful things also over there. So if I am taking open schooling, so what I feel is I cannot spend much time with him. So that is the main thing with me. So yeah, I like to spend. Due to my work situation, it is not possible. So how to handle it? Hello.
Sure. We got your questions. I guess people are thinking who wants to respond. So we'll just wait for people to respond.
Okay. And one more question. So see, when we think about employment, so what is the risk getting into unschooling and then going for this methods?
Okay, so we have two questions. Yes, absolutely, Abhilash. Just waiting, inviting people to respond to any or both of your questions.
The time part, maybe I can. So this is something I am also figuring out. So initially it was very difficult. I mean, I'm still going through that phase of finding the right amount of time to spend with the kid. But at least my wife is spending some more time with him. But as we go forward, I think they will be self-driven, and we might just need to guide them rather than taking them on with hand. They might just come with some need for help, and we might have to just help them get that, and probably it will become much easier. So that is what I am thinking, but that is that hurdle I am also going through, but I am positive about it. I don't think it will become a big hurdle as we go forward, because community is there. Everyone will pitch in, and wherever we have to, we will be there. It doesn't mean that we won't be there at all. But I think it will become smoother as child gets used to asking help and getting things done by himself.
Yeah, he's doing well, but yeah, your answers are fine. So I'm also having the same experience, whatever you have spoke. But the thing is, like, if we haven't noticed him, then he will divert, and it will be just he'll be just playing it. So he won't learn it. So if we interact, and he will teach us. So that things we can see. So, but I miss a lot to play with him or interact with him due to my work. So maybe we can find some mode or method, or we'll have some practical syllabus kind of sorry to mention syllabus, like, okay, this mode, if we can handle them, then they'll be okay. So kind of any experienced framework is there?
Hi, Abhilash. This is Ambika.
Yeah.
First,
Yeah. Hi.
even when I started 2 years, since 2 years, I am with Arohi. Okay. Even
Okay.
if we are in the syllabus mode and we will be hunting for another syllabus. Okay. But actually, what we are thinking is like child itself is a syllabus. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You're right.
okay. So it's like child driven curriculum only we are finding out. Okay. So
Okay.
what are we trying is like, what is the interest within the child? So
Okay.
that's how we get help from the community. Okay. And then
Okay.
the interest from the community attracts the child. So that's how the child is also getting attracted. So that's how our journey starts with the community. And then we will figure out, like you are asking financially or like future thing, those are all definitely 25-year-old or 30-year-old, definitely he will find out a way. Don't you, like we don't we have a trust in our child, like child is capable, or 25-year-old or whoever is capable. So that's
No.
where so now at the moment we are and as a 9-year-old, even I have the same 9-year-old. So with the community and with the people around us, we'll be moving around and then pulling and pushing each other. That's how we are going. We are just
Yeah.
on the community
Yeah, fine.
bus.
You are, yeah, I agree with you absolutely. So you fine. So my thing is like, okay, I'm okay with my child progress. So I leave it to him that, okay, whatever he likes, he can take it.
Yeah.
Even I don't ask him to even worship or anything. So he has to choose. He has to feel that. Okay. So that is the thing, right? Anyway, but the thing, why I'm asking this question, so I want the community also has to be like this. So so I am circulating my mentality to my friends and my known people. So all they have the fear. So I just thought, okay, okay, if if someone has answer exploring it, and I can get it. So that's what the question I just raised it. So anyway, fine. Thank you so much.
So even I have kids of like 13 years and 9 years. Okay, even I have the fear. The fear would be 13-year-old and the fear would be 9 years old. Only when they grow up, the fear also will grow up. Okay, the
Okay.
fear will be always there. That's okay. But it's okay to have like that fear as a friend and then move on.
No, I
The
don't have fear
should
at
not
all.
be as an enemy. Yeah.
Actually I don't have fear at all, because I planned like, okay, I'll make him some property, like, okay, he has a food, that's all, okay, to survive. So other things he has to make the world, but the world is going like, okay, behind the economy, and because of that, some people is suffering, some people is enjoying it. So the balance is going out. So as part of the community, so how we have to make him to lead the community, so that leadership quality we have to feed him, not making a political leader. So simply an example he has to be. So for that expectation is there. So that is why we are looking for the questions answers here. So probably, yeah, I plan to visit Arahill and stay there. Maybe I'll get in touch with separately with the sir. So this is what I am looking for. So the community has to change our community effectively. How we have to make it.
So Abhilash Prashant has already replied in chat. All I want to add to that is it's good that you have all these questions. That's what open learning is all about. It's about asking these questions rather than saying that, oh, there are some standard answers. So if you need standard answers, then schools and colleges and the whole education system has so-called created a framework and said everybody now has to follow it rather than, but in open learning, we ask these questions and we keep on asking these questions and we keep on realizing as we grow older and child grows older, that every day there's a new answer to these questions. And that is the whole journey. So welcome to the whole journey. And and you will continue, please continue, keep asking these questions. And you will keep getting different answers in the whole journey. Right. So that's nice. Yeah.
Is there any facilitator defined here in Arahill?
Yes,
Like
here
teachers,
everybody is a facilitator.
Teacher.
Lakshita is a facilitator, Misha is a facilitator, Preeti is a facilitator.
Okay.
Is a facilitator. Everybody is a facilitator. Everybody helps everybody. Isn't it? That is what community is all about. The moment we consider everybody as facilitator and as everybody as mentor and everybody as teachers, we are all so rich because then we have so many people to support us.
Ratnesh, I would like to add one thing.
Sure.
Like July, we have started planning to have a open learning meetup in Chennai. So if Abhilash is everything realized, even Ratnesh contact him and you can join. Like clarify your doubts.
How to get the update?
We'll inform you now that we have your email.
Meeting.
Abhilash, we have your email. We'll inform you. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Thanks, Sandhya, for that.
Looks like I have a question from
Go ahead, Lakshmi.
Bani. So, yeah. So, I don't think I expect anything from my mother exactly. Like, I expect her to be part of the community and like
wait, Lakshita. You have an opportunity to roll out your big list. You are live. The whole world is listening. Come on, let's have the big list. Sorry to interrupt.
That
Go
43 things one. Which list are you talking about?
Just a joke. Come on, continue.
Okay, I finally got the joke. Slow light bulb. I don't have a list for my mom. She can make a list for herself if she wants. Because I have one thing, and it is that she needs to do something in the community and reply to messages and stuff. But other than that, I don't really expect her to do much because, I am learning for myself. My mom is not, going to feed me information, and I'm completely capable of getting any information I want by myself. Why go through extra steps of having another person in the picture and begging them to give you something? I just want to do it by myself and I'm fine with that. If my mom wants to contribute, she can. I will somehow make space for her. If she doesn't, then I don't have any space, so it's fine.
I would like to say she learns by herself. In case rarely if she gets stuck in anything or something, she might ask me, or mostly with the community she asks. Sometimes she asks me, then if I know it, I would share it with her. Otherwise, I don't think there are any expectations.
Thank you, Lakshita and Sandhya. More questions, and since we have kind of moved beyond 6 o'clock, you can also ask Arohi specific questions, or actually open, and they're more or less the same thing. Please go ahead and ask more questions in any language. Somebody is asking, can I ask in Kannada, Telugu? Yes, I'm sure there are enough people here to translate you. So please don't worry about that. Any language would do good.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Pavitra.
Sir, my daughter 9 years old. ಅದು ನಂಗೆ ಅರೋಹ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಂಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರನು ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೂಢಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂಗೆ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಂಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನಾನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್. ನಂಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ತೆಲುಗು ಹೇಳಿ.
So what she's saying is she got to know about Arohi from her brother-in-law. She doesn't know much about Arohi. What she has heard is Arohi is the place where children are exposed to variety of things. So she says, can you tell me something in Kannada or Telugu?
Sure.
So
Prashant, will you do the needful? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll ask her what specific things she would like to know.
Maybe you can also give her a quick overview in Kannada, and then she can ask more questions.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else wants to go, or shall I go? Yeah, I thought somebody was talking. Acha, Pavitra, so namdu Arohi ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಲಮಂಗಲಂ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗ ಇದೆ ಹೊಸೂರ್ ಹತ್ರ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ನಾವಲ್ಲಿ ವಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ವಾರನೂ ಸೇರ್ತೀವಿ. ನಮಗೆ ಏನ್ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಲಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಲಿಯೋ ಜರ್ನಿನ ನಾವೇ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ, ನಾವೇ ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವಂಥದ್ದು ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದು ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಮಿಕ್ ಶುರು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆರೋಹಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಈಗ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಈ ತರ ಝೂಮ್ ಮೂಲಕನೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜನ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶದ ಹೊರಗೇನೂ ಕೂಡ ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಝೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮೀಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ. ನಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಆರೋಹಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ 2016ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿಯಿಂದ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅವನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದವನು. ಈ ನಡುವೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹುಚ್ಚಿಡಿದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಆರೋಹಿಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿಯಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಜೊತೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಲಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಇದು ನನ್ನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಫ್ ಇದು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ನಾನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಅದೇ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಗಿನ ಬೇರೆ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನ ಅಷ್ಟು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಈ ತರ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ತರ ಇದೆ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದೇ ಅವಳು ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸೇರ್ಸೋಣ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೆಲಮಂಗ್ಲದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆದೆ ಸರ್.
Okay, so her specific question was, she was told that since her daughter likes to learn other things, not from, not study, but learn other things and be active, like dancing, for example. Somebody had told her that there is this campus in Kelamangalam where you can send her, they teach her everything. So that's the impression she has, and that's her question. So I'll just take the liberty to answer that. ಪವಿತ್ರ ಅವರೇ, ಇದು ಆರೋಹಿಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಳಂತ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಯಾರಿಗಾರು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕಲಿಯೋಕೆ ಅವರೇ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಲರ್ನರ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು, ಹೇಗೆ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು, ಯಾರಿಂದ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಲಿ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ನಾವೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವೇ ಕಲಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಲಿಕೆಗೆ ನಾವೇ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ತಗೊಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕಲಿಸುವಂತಹ ಜಾಗ. ಹಾಗಂತ
you can keep saying the same in English also, please.
Yeah. So I told her that the whole point of Arohi is that we take absolute responsibility for whatever we want to learn, and that's the whole point of the community itself. ನನ್ನ ಮಗನೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಭಾರಿ ಆಸೆ ಇದೆ. ಹಂಗಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೋ ಬಂದು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಅವನಾಗೆ ಕಲಿತಾನೆ. ಅವ್ನ್ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ನ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವರು ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರೋ ಗೊತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಕಡೆಗೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರೋ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಹೀಗೆ ಒಬ್ರಿಗೊಬ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಲಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತ ಜನ ಸಿಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರೋದು, ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಕಲಿಯುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಈ ತರನೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿನೂ ನಮ್ದೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಹರ್ ದಟ್ sometimes when you want to learn, you craft your own learning journey and syllabus. You go hunt for the resource persons. Some of times you find the resource persons within the community, and sometimes you don't. And sometimes you go learn it by yourself and you teach other people, and that's how a gang forms, and the learning course unrolls itself. So that and there is no classroom or teaching construct in Aarohi. There is a learning construct, and figuring it out is a part of the construct.
Thanks, Prashant.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I would like to know, how does Aarohi work?
Yeah, I would also love to know that.
I would also love to know that. Basically, you throw a gang of people in one well and all is well. That's all. The rest, everything, they will take care of each other and themselves. That's how it does not work. In the sense, it's as chaotic as life is.
Experientially, I've been with Aarohi for 6 years now. 2016 is when we started. Every year, the pattern has been similar. June to September, October is like, oh, this year, I think everything is figured out. From September and beyond, we'll start seeing, acha, ye nahi, and by March, April, thoda fighting ho jata hai. Like, this is not working, that is not working. And then the reflection happens. Some new thing will come. And again, the next year. So it just rolls like that. We continuously keep discovering it.
Okay, what I was trying to understand is, how do I get into Aarohi? What happens when I get into Aarohi? Like what is it like? Since it's an online community, what happens what is the process that happens with me and my son every day? That is what I was trying to understand.
Kriti, you want to take that?
I can take that.
Okay.
Technical terms, I don't know like how to get in and all. It's not like a nightclub or something. You can just come. After you come, it will be like you're in the middle of a gang war. Everybody will be doing something. You go, you get beaten up, you come back, you go to other section, you get beaten up, you learn something, you come. It's very chaotic is what I say. Eventually, you figure out where you want to get beaten up. You go there, you get beaten up, you stay there, you move to next section, and you see if you want to get beaten up by
So all
those
this
people.
happens
If
online
not,
on a, sorry to interrupt. All this happens
yes, yes.
online on a app, right?
Yeah, it happens on Discord. Okay, so that's what happens. You go, if you like it, you stay in one section. If you don't like it, you move on to the other section. It's very chaotic. You will somehow figure out how to navigate the chaos.
But if I want to kind of capture the, so to speak, I also get a few friends of mine who says exactly hota kya hai Aarohi mein. So I say the syllabus of Aarohi is planning, doing, reflection. That's the only syllabus in Aarohi, right? Everybody, including us, parents, children, the people who come for helping us, for everybody, including Ratnesh, Aditi. The only thing that happens is we plan what we want to learn, and then we go execute our plan. We come and reflect that. So that happens on a daily basis. Morning, rest of the day, evening. That happens on a weekly basis. Every week we have Monday opening circle, and Saturday we have a closing circle where the reflection happens. So it happens on a term basis. It happens on an yearly basis. At the end of the year, we all have to prepare a portfolio, right? So this is the only syllabus in Aarohi. Everything else is just, elements of it. Electronics may be an element of it. Math could be an element of it. Language. Some of us are now doing filmmaking. Lakshita is a part of that. So plan, do, reflect is the only syllabus of Aarohi, and this sits on top of absolute responsibility.
This all happens online now.
Online, yes. Going to campus is highly recommended, but this is right now happening online also.
Okay, so
Online,
I will
offline and a combination also.
Wait. It doesn't happen online. Sorry. It doesn't happen online. It doesn't happen in campus. It happens inside each one of us. right? Each one of us thinks what we want to do. Each one of us does that. I may do it alone. I may do it with few people. I may do it with a lot of people. I may do it just at my home with my mom, dad, or I may just do it alone at my home. I may do it online with somebody. I may do it in campus with somebody. I may do it with the shopkeeper in the next road of my house. I may go to a museum and do it with the museum guy. I may go to railway station and do it with the train driver. So look at it this way, that the whole world is my resource. All the people in this world are my resource, and I can go anywhere and do it any which way. But as Prashant said, I need to think what I want to do. Then I need to go ahead and do it, and then reflect how was it. So it can happen anywhere. It can happen on a walk on a road where I look at the trees and I'm observing trees and learning about the trees from and with trees. Yeah. So that's the whole idea. It all happens inside. Let's not get lost in the mediums we use. So every walk, every talk, every online, every in-person, everything is a part of our learning journey. What I really want, Prabodh, why I'm saying it this way, let's not get lost in these logistical thing of, did I connect with somebody on Zoom or phone or in person or in the market? The place, the mode, the medium does not matter. What really matters is, what do I want to do? And how do I then go about it and then reflect? So thanks, Prashant, for bringing that up.
There's a question for Lakshita in chat. I would like to answer that.
Go ahead.
Lakshita is 14. My daughter is 9. Other children are there who are there at campus. They do not feel homesick. They are enjoying their life there. No one feels homesick.
So to add to what Preeti is saying, yes, there are children and adults who, when come to campus, they may feel homesick, and that's part of life. If I feel homesick, I may decide to go back home. You go back home whenever you want to, and then whenever you want to come back to campus, you come back to campus, and whenever you want to go to Kashmir, you go to Kashmir. You see, again, it's life. Life doesn't mean that only good things should happen. Life means all things will happen. All kinds of sicknesses will happen. All kind of missings will happen. All kind of travels will happen. All kind of learnings will happen. Right. So there is no one answer to that. Right. So yeah, that's what life is, and that is what learning is, or that is what education is. So yeah, that's how I think it happens.
Excuse me, I'm having one question, sir. Hello.
Sure. Please go ahead.
I'm Raji from Tamil Nadu. So, because I'm having two questions. So, one is, even in open learning, our children are supposed to write exams, right? Like 10th or 12th, they have to. So, how Arohi is handling these kind of exams?
Misha, you want to answer that?
When you do open learning, it's not compulsory that you do any exams, any board exams. That is entirely up to your own personal choice. So, but if you do choose to do it, and that is something that you want to do, then it's very simple to do it. It's really easy. I did my exams this year, and it was extremely simple. You can just register whichever board you want to do. There's different steps. I did IGCSE, and you just have to find a center or a school, and they'll accept private candidates, and you can give your exam. But if you do decide to do this, it should be your child's choice, because it's not compulsory to do these exams to get into, if it is college you want to do, or a job. These aren't compulsory.
Okay. Whether you are following any prescribed syllabus or any kind of textbook over there?
If you do the exam, then you will need to do some sort of syllabus. So when I was doing IGCSE, I just bought the books, and then there's so many online resources. You can just use that. And otherwise, when you're doing open learning, you don't need to follow a syllabus. You just find something that you like, or you just explore, and then after you find something you like, you can go deeper into that, and then you can do courses, internships, and yes.
Okay, thank you.
So just to clarify to you, Raji, there could be a child who could be whole day just playing chess, or there could be a child who's whole day doing embroidery, whole day, whole week, whole month, or there could be a child who could be just writing the whole time, and so on. So the child who's playing chess, for that child, chess is the curriculum. For the child who's doing electronics, electronics is the curriculum. For the child who's doing bird watching and doing puri making and doing some 16 things in the day, for that child 16 things are the curriculum. So as somebody mentioned, I think Prashant or somebody mentioned, or Abhilash, that the child is the curriculum or the syllabus, not something what others say. So what is I wanting, that is the curriculum. In much the same way, I'm assuming you as of today, how you live your life. If you look at your life today, you decide what all will happen in your life today, isn't it? So in a way, you are your life's curriculum. Now the same thing, imagine for a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old. So in a way, we are all open learners. Raji, Bani, Shobha, Prashant, Abhilash, Ambika, all of us are open learners, because we are deciding what we want to do during the day or week or month as 30-year-olds, 40 years olds, and 50 years old. And we are going ahead and doing it and then reflecting it. So open learning is no different from life. That is how we live all of our life. Why live it differently the first, let's say, 20 years? That's the whole point.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, I have one question for you. Like open schooling, when we talk, so all people are unschooling and following NIOS, or how it is? And additionally, one more question, sorry. See, when we talk about children's knowledge, so they must have some knowledge, like, okay, 1 + 1, 2. These kind of basics they should know. Like when I send my child to shop, so he should know, okay, the calculation and all. So how you are handling it? Okay, you can answer one by one. The first question is, Arohil is recommending fully unschooling and then follow our own curriculum. Second question is the basic child needs on education, like calculations or letter readings, writings. Yeah, thank you.
Who would like to answer that?
Abhilash, I would like to answer your second question. You had asked, like, if he goes to a shop or he need to do the calculation. If first time he'll go, definitely he'll fail. Or maybe he won't have sufficient money, or he will be what to say, like he would have paid more money. But that itself is a learning. So when when he comes back home, you ask him what we have bought. So he knows something has happened. So he learned from that, and the next time he himself will rectify. Like, what should I do so that this doesn't happen next time? Even if it doesn't happen immediately next time, gradually he'll learn it by himself, because he himself will know that he's lacking and something is going wrong there.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, this is happening. But see, sometimes we have to force to learn. So himself, if he do, that will be appreciable. Sometimes we have to have a framework. We have to think it. We have to make him to undergo the process. Like we have to push, okay, go to shop and get the things. And this actually, I'm doing it practically. So I tried several times. Finally, yeah, I got the positive result. So for each and everything, see, we are spending more time. So yeah,
Abhilash,
I
you want
feel
to answer, Abhilash?
no,
Me,
no.
me, 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 me.
Okay,
I
okay,
have
okay.
a
Go ahead.
perfect
Go ahead.
example
Go ahead,
for
Lakshita.
this. One thing is ringing in my head. You said that we need to have like a framework that we need to know. And fun fact about me, I still can't do basic multiplication and division, despite going to math tuition, and I did lots of stuff, but I still don't know how to do it well. And I survive in shops. Yeah, I somehow do the calculation, and then I somehow get it right. So I don't think you need to know it and you need to force it, because if you force me to learn division, I would forget it the second you leave me. And like, let's say now I want to become an accountant, then I would learn it by myself, and then I would remember it, because if I mess up that job, my salary will go and I need the money. But when you have something you need to do and you need to learn something for that, you can learn that. There's no problem. So I don't see any reason why that we have to have certain knowledge ready at all points of time, because you can just learn it whenever you need it.
Yeah,
To add
okay,
to that,
fine. But what I feel here, like, see, if in my absence, like, see, suddenly something happened, I'm not there, so he has to survive. So I have to make him ready to survive, with the basic things like handling money and calculation, readings. So in that view, I'm expecting the answer. Maybe.
so one thing I'm sensing is when we say unschooling, I think we are also thinking it's unlearning. It's not so. We are telling open learning, which means learning happens, just that it is driven by the child. So when child sees that he is in need of learning, he will drive it. He will come to the respective. If he wants a syllabus for it, he might get the syllabus. For example, my child and me wanted to learn electronics, and a group of people who are ready to learn electronics came together, and we decided we'll do one course which is online and which is in a structured format. So all we are telling is we are not against learning, just that the situation and when child demands that, it happens in a much better way rather than he is not even seeing a need and we are just making him learn. At least that failed a lot of times for myself and also for my child, and I'm sure many would have seen that. Uh, the learning is more driven by the person who wants to learn, and once he is ready to learn, every structure can be followed, every syllabus can be followed, whichever suits him, he can pick it up and follow.
And to add to the sentiment of when I'm not there, how will he deal with it, right? I had this question a lot. The current way I'm dealing with it is when I'm present also, I try to be absent and I just let him deal with it. Like if he needs to buy something, it's his job to figure out where to buy, how to negotiate, how to travel, all of that. It's his job to figure it out. So the first time he wanted to learn electronics, I remember I called Ratnesh and I asked him for a place where I can buy components for cheap. So I went there and I would do all the shopping and bring the components to him. These days, he creates a list, he creates a budget, he goes, he buys them, and he comes back and tells me how much he saved because he bought it from these varieties of shops. So try to be absent even while I'm present is something that I'm trying right now. Just let him do it. Why wait for me to get old to be absent? I'll be absent now only.
Also, Abhilash, the whole premise, if you remember the few slides, I don't know if you were there at the beginning, of open learning is that the child is the leader, and not just the leader, he's a capable or she's a capable leader. That means the child can figure out how to, let's say, handle money or how to survive or how to do things. It is not that the child has to be pre-programmed and then the child will live in this world, right? At least that's how we believe in open learning. that the child is naturally a learner and capable learner and will figure out whatever it needs to be learned. The child needs to learn how to cook, then whether the child needs to learn how to negotiate, whether the child needs to learn how to convince. A 1.5-year-old already knows how to convince his mom or dad to buy an ice cream. So he has negotiating, convincing skills, which they teach in MBAs or whatever, right? So I'm saying and he may not even know a language. Even without language, he knows how to convince his parents or uncles and aunties around him. So you realize the beauty of it. The children are capable leaders. If we believe that, and if we allow them to grow that by being present, by being absent, as Prashant has beautifully put it, then automatically they will learn what they need to learn, which is what Lakshita was saying. I will learn what I need to learn whenever I meet the need. So I will learn multiplication and I will learn everything else, whatever I need to learn, right? If somebody is a gymnast, they need to more learn gymnastics than learn, let's say, chemistry. If somebody is into chemistry, they need to learn more chemistry than gymnastics. So why should we not let each one see what their needs are and then use their leadership and their capability to learn that? And that is the whole idea of open learning. Yeah. Okay, so one last thought, because then we typically close at 6:30. So let's take a last thought and then we'll kind of close for today, and with the promise to meet next Saturday. So you're most welcome to join us again, because obviously we can't discuss everything in 1.5 hours. And sorry, before I take the last thought, just a reminder that there are about 100 odd recordings of these meetups. So if you don't want to wait till the next Saturday, you can go and look up those on the websites every time we record and upload them. Also, we have a lot of FAQs on the websites and a lot of other videos and lots of blogs. So there's a lot of stuff for you to explore if you want to explore this. And you're obviously most welcome to visit the campus to understand it even better. Yeah, whoever was sharing the last thought, let's have the last thought and then we'll close.
Can I ask one last question? Oh, okay.
I don't think we can take another question, but if somebody has a last thought, yeah, because we are already at 6:29 and I'm kind of, so please come back and yeah, we can continue this. We also have a Telegram group of open learning. You can also ask questions there if you don't want to wait and if you want people to reply to you.
I have a thought.
Sure, Lakshita.
Okay, so the last question, it reminded me of this fun fact I learned, which is that human babies are born prematurely, which has a lot of bad effects, but also the good thing is that now they have time to learn everything new. So like newborn calves, within minutes, they can start walking. So they have enough time to develop for that. But human babies, they come out prematurely, so they have more time to learn everything from the outside. So nobody should be worried about anybody because you always have time to learn things. Yes, I'm quoting from Sapiens. Don't worry, that's it. I don't know what I've said.
Awesome. So we'll end this with don't worry, live life. Thank you, Lakshita. That was a perfect ending note, and bye-bye everybody. And we expect you to keep connecting with us if you are more interested in open learning. And yes, do visit us. All the information is there on the website. If you still need help, connect with us. Yeah. Thank you and bye-bye. See you. Yeah, bye-bye.